August 31st, 2019. Today will be remembered as a momentous day in the history of professional wrestling. The biggest wrestling boom period since the death of the Attitude Era is finally upon us, and it's commencing today. The three major biggest wrestling promotions in the world are all running shows today. New Japan Pro Wrestling ran a show earlier today. All Elite Wrestling kicks things off with All Out today from Chicago, Illinois. And the WWE, the biggest wrestling company in the entire world, produced NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. It's a huge day and it's a perfect day for JtoZ TV to kick things off with the very first episode of our Pro Wrestling Roundup show. This is the JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown, and this is episode number 1. Today we're looking at NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. Who will answer Cesaro's open challenge? Who will leave as the NXT UK Tag Team Champions when 3 teams enter triple threat warfare? There's going to be a last man standing match. Toni Storm lays the NXT UK Women's Championship on the line against Kaylee Ray. And then, in the big one, Walter defends the NXT United Kingdom Championship against that big, strong boy. It's Tyler Bate. Without further ado, let's break down NXT TakeOver Cardiff. Alright guys, welcome to the very first ever episode of JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown. I am your host, JtoZ TV Dad, also known as Derek. And you guys, I've been a massive, diehard professional wrestling fan for the last 30 years. That's right, for as long as I can remember, practically my entire life, guys. I have eaten, slept, bled pro wrestling. It is my biggest passion in my life. If I wasn't such a small guy, I probably would have tried to get into the business myself. But as Marco's stunt is going to show us right now, size doesn't even matter anymore. I'm just a little bit too old. I wish I would have got on the train. But hey, I still have a hardcore passion for pro wrestling. My Bret Hart glasses fell down right here. I have a hardcore passion for professional wrestling, guys. I talk JtoZ Mom's ear off about it. I'm teaching Jaden and Xander, my sons, all about the business. It's what I love more than anything in this life, guys. So we decided, hey, why don't we bring what we love to the JtoZ subscribers? We're bringing my love for professional wrestling out to you guys in the JtoZ universe, and I couldn't be happier to do it. We're kicking things off today. It's a huge day. Not only is New Japan Pro Wrestling running a show today, we've also got All Out. AEW's big show, All Out, is taking place today from Chicago, Illinois. I cannot wait to take a look at that one. Guys, stay tuned to JtoZ TV. We will be breaking that one down tomorrow right here on JtoZ TV. Keep your eyes peeled. That's going to be a must-see. But we're here to do right now is we're gonna take a look at NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. It was presented today live from the UK, live from Cardiff, Wales, and it was a pretty interesting show to say the least. We're gonna dig right into it, guys. NXT UK, all the NXT brands we know, NXT and NXT UK, even 205 Live. I call them Triple H's babies. Triple H's project, Shawn Michaels projects, these guys are killing it right now. And honestly, NXT 205 Live, and I don't watch a lot of NXT UK, but the takeovers are really great stuff. These are my favorite WWE promotions right now. I do like Bischoff's SmackDown now that he's taken over the reins of SmackDown. Heyman is doing some good things on Raw. But NXT, especially with them jumping to the USA Network, NXT has always been my jam, if you will. That's my absolute favorite promotion, other than New Japan Pro Wrestling, of course. So NXT UK 205 Live, those are all can't misses for me. I'm a work rate fan. So we're going to dig right into it, guys. And we're going to take on NXT TakeOver. I don't think we should wait any longer. Let's get right into it, guys. The show kicked off with Noam Dar going one-on-one with Travis Banks, guys. This was a pretty good technical matchup. Nothing wrong with it. Nice technically sound matchup. The guys did some nice work in there. There was a nice little spot on the floor where Travis Banks actually hit like a springboard slice of heaven, I think Nigel McGuinness called it. He hit a springboard slice of heaven off of the guardrail right there on the floor, and a Noam Dar is a pretty cool spot. Sadly, the fans kind of weren't actually woken up yet, so this match did a good job of sort of setting the pace. It would have been nice to see the UK crowd kind of get rallied up and fired up right away first thing, but nice technical work from both guys. Noam Dar ended up picking up the win with the Nova Roller. Clean right there in the center of the ring, and the fans seem to be pretty pleased with the decision to have Noam Dar go over there. Good matchup, guys. I'm going to go decent work on it, and I'm going to go ahead and I think I'm going to call it a 3 out of 5 on that. We're going to go 3 stars out of 5. Decent opener. I wish the crowd was a little more riled up for it. I think the right guy went over. Travis Banks is a great worker. He's going to be a utility guy, though. He's kind of missing something. I almost wonder if he's going to be a better heel than a babyface, but pretty good work from both guys there. All right, next up, we go backstage, and this is kind of funny to me, guys. Cesaro is interviewed by Moss from the IT crowd. Just kidding. It just really looked a lot like him. I guess this is the millennial NXT UK version of him. Whatever. Cesaro basically says he doesn't care who accepts his open challenge that he has laid out tonight. He's ready for a fight, and that's all that matters. And what do you know? Ilia Dragunov pokes his head right in, gets right in Cesaro. I almost called him Claudio Castagnoli. Gets right in Cesaro's face, and he just growls, and boom, we're off to the races. It looks like Vic Joseph and Nigel McGuinness already start contemplating whether Cesaro's found his fight, and I think he has. And sure enough, boom, out comes Ilia Dragunov, and he's calling Cesaro out, guys. Awesome entrance from Dragunov, first off. I've heard a lot about this guy. I've seen him a little bit in Pro Wrestling Guerrilla, a little bit in WXW, but wow. I was very impressed with Dragunov's performance here. Awesome entrance. He's got this really cool thing where he's got red contact lenses in. Pretty cool entrance. This guy is fired up, and he calls Cesaro out. And what do you know? Here comes Cesaro, and bam, we got our open challenge. We are off to the races. It's Cesaro versus Dragunov. And let me stop for a second here and let you guys know, the Cardiff crowd goes nuts, absolutely nuts for Cesaro when he comes out here. We're talking like this is a pop for like a big star. Biggest reaction of the show so far. Cesaro is over like Rover here in Cardiff, guys. And Dragunov is fired up. His facial expressions and everything are spot on. This guy's going to be a big deal. Let me tell you what, guys. So first off, I got to say, these guys start off pretty hot and heavy. And right off the bat, Dragunov's selling is top notch. His work is pretty phenomenal here to watch, guys. This guy's going to be a big star, I'm telling you. And Cesaro really did a phenomenal job of structuring the match sort of to Dragunov's strengths. These guys tell a great story. You got sort of the big WWE Titan coming down, and he's working with this little NXT UK guy. And wouldn't you know, the fans, they immediately pick up on the story. They rally behind Dragunov, even though they gave Cesaro the big star pop, basically, when he came out. Cesaro finds a great way to structure this match to Dragunov's strengths and does an amazing job of getting Dragunov over here. Like I said, they do the big thing where Cesaro's... Obviously, there's a size difference. Cesaro's quite a bit larger than Dragunov, and they do an awesome job of basically Cesaro working down and just trying to just pound him down and keep him down, trying to eat him up alive. They kind of tell the big bully story, but Dragunov's got the heart, and he keeps fighting from down below. It's pretty cool stuff to watch, guys, especially because the fans are just eating it up. There goes my Bret Hart glasses again. You know what? Here's what we're going to do. My Bret Hart glasses won't stay on. I'm kind of afraid of breaking them, actually, though, but we're going to go ahead and place them up there. So anyway, back to our action, guys. A couple of awesome spots here. There's one spot early on. Cesaro catches Dragunov just like a little baby almost. And he just dumps him right over the top rope. Dragunov takes a nice bump right down to the floor. It kind of had my hip hurting a little bit. Because it was right down there on that floor, and he kind of hit the railing awkwardly, too, as he took the bump. And then they do another neat spot later on where Cesaro gets him for the big swing, and that gets a massive, massive pop. And he proceeds to swing Dragunov. Not once, not twice, not 10 times, not 15 times. He swings him 40 times, guys. 40 times, and the crowd is going nuts when it's going on, counting along the entire way. Pretty cool stuff. A couple other little bits. I really dug that Dragunov took Nikita Koloff, classic NWA legend. Nikita Koloff used to use the Russian sickle, just like a crazy lariat to finish guys off with. And Dragunov has a couple of spots in this match where he utilizes that lariat. He uses the 6-1 line, which is like a 619 into a clothesline. And it kind of reminded me, it was kind of like a callback to Nikita Koloff and the Russian sickle. So that was really cool. And I mean, Dragunov's intensity is pretty off the charts here, especially when he's firing up and making his comebacks. I love watching a babyface fire up. It's kind of like an old school thing, an old school art that's gotten lost a little bit along the way. So watching him fire up was super cool. But he's so fired up and so intense at one time. At one point, there's a point where Dragunov goes for a coast-to-coast on Cesaro, and as he's on the top rope, he kind of loses his balance for a second. And the fans are, oh! But he was so intense that it kind of added to the story of the match a little bit, the believability. This match basically made me realize that Cesaro, I already was a huge fan of the guy, but after seeing this, Cesaro is an absolute all-time great worker. The way that he structured this match totally made a star out of Dragunov, and Dragunov is special. After watching this match, I cannot wait to see more Ilia Dragunov. This is a great match, guys. The crowd ate it up. The only thing I didn't really like about this match was the finish. A little bit anticlimactic. It's almost like there was a spot where Dragunov was supposed to be firing up and getting ready to set up for his big finish. Does his big taunt and everything and goes for his finish, and Cesaro just cuts him off and drills him with a big forearm and then plants him with the neutralizer, and that's 1, 2, 3, goodbye nurse. He's done. But a little anticlimactic. Dragunov almost stalled for a second and looked a little out of place. I'm sure that'll come with experience. But phenomenal match. Cesaro really put together a winner here, and they made a star out of Dragunov. He's going to be a big deal, and I can't wait to see some more of it. WWE's got money in Ilia Dragunov. They've already got money right now in Cesaro. And they just need to cash in on that deposit because the guy is just, the potential is unreal. He's an insane, all-time great worker. I really enjoyed this match, guys. We're going to go 4 stars out of 5 stars on that one. 4 out of 5. Great stuff. And they do a little bit after the match where Cesaro comes back into the ring and he teases like he's going to lay Dragunov out. This is pro wrestling. When they tease that, they ain't going to do it. It's a handshake, guys. The crowd goes nuts, eats it up. And Cesaro is whispering in Dragunov's ear after the match, giving him some words of wisdom, I'm sure. Great moment. Great match. 4 out of 5 stars. I love pro wrestling for stuff like this. Phenomenal. And next up, we are going to move into the triple threat matchup for the NXT UK Tag Team Championships. The grizzled young veterans are defending the belts against the hometown heroes. That's right, it's Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. And you've also got Gallus in there. It's Wolfgang and Mark Coffey. Triple threat match for the belts, guys. And first off, right away, I got to comment. Those NXT UK Tag Team title belts, ooh, those things are beautiful. What a classic and sleek belt design. They almost remind me of the old school WCW tag team title belts a little bit, which I actually really liked. Really like that belt design. I like wrestling belts that look like pro wrestling belts. Love it. Another little observation, is it just me or is Gallus's theme song, it really sounds like background menu music from like Nintendo 64 from WWF No Mercy? Something about that song is just like production track. I ain't hating on it, but it's just what it sounds like to me. So, like I said, hometown heroes, Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster, these guys get a hero's welcome. They are just biggest pop of the night so far, maybe even bigger than that Cesaro pop. Big stuff. And another little observation, the grizzled young veterans, James Gibson, every single place that he goes, as this match gets started off, they're doing some mat wrestling, Mark Andrews and Gibson, and people hate James Gibson so much, he managed to do this. Everybody in the crowd removes their shoes and holds them up during the mat wrestling sequence between Andrews and Gibson. So even in Cardiff, people are taking their shoes off, which is kind of funny because Nigel gets a couple quick funny lines in about the people in Cardiff. He says something about, oh, this is the one place that I didn't want the people to take their shoes off was here in Cardiff. And then he said, I'm actually surprised that the people here have shoes. So a couple funny lines from Nigel. Nigel's a great announcer. One of my favorite wrestlers, too, back in the Ring of Honor days, his series with Bryan Danielson was phenomenal, classic matches. But I love Nigel as a heel commentator. I think he gets the heel commentary role, maybe even more so than Corey Graves does. He's phenomenal at it. The match, these triple threat tag matches, they're kind of hit and miss. Unless you're doing a car crash kind of fast-paced thing, these things, they're never really that great. There's a little early awkwardness in this one especially. These things are kind of hard to work out just because they go against the grain of what makes a tag match, how tag matches stories are usually told and how they're built. This is just kind of all over the place early on. A little awkward earliness to go on air, but Andrews and Morgan really start to bring the match together. Mark Andrews, especially with his high-flying offense in this match. When I was watching this thing, I couldn't help but draw some parallels between the Midnight Rockers and Andrews and Morgan, Flash Morgan Webster in this match. More so with Mark Andrews as Shawn Michaels and Webster as Marty Jannetty. And that's not a slam on Webster at all because he knocked his part out of... He took his role and he knocked it out of the park, basically, when he was supposed to be in that ring. But Mark Andrews really shining like a star in this thing. Flawless. Every single spot he was involved in the match, he hit it. Timing was impeccable. Fans were super into these guys, like I was saying. And when they got in there to do their double team work, they really kind of tied the match together. I mean, we kind of get some really cool spots going on here. There's a nice spot where Andrews and Webster hit an inverted Rana / knee strike combo on Wolfgang, and he does a sick neck bump right into the mat head first, and it only gets a near fall. And basically where the match really excels and hits another level, basically, is these guys incorporated some insane, absolutely insane near fall sequences. They had me biting on these false finishes, guys. You guys got to go check out this match. The false finishes here are awesome, and the crowd buys into these things every step of the way, which makes it infinitely more fun to watch. I mean, there's a spot where the grizzled young veterans, they hit Andrews with their finish. I mean, it looks like it's all over, and boom, Andrews is out at 2.999, and that's just the first of many near falls. There's another cool spot later on. Gallus has a nice little double team move where Coffey hits the ropes and Wolfgang just picks him up and chucks him over the ropes like a sack of potatoes onto the other team. If the smoke all settles down, back in the ring, Andrews hits a Stun Dog Millionaire. Webster goes up, boom, 630. It looks like it's all over. New champs, but Gibson yanks the referee out. Really hot finish that sort of got me too. Andrews comes over the ropes, boom, Gibson takes him out. Back into the ring, and Morgan gets hit with the grizzled young veterans finish. 1, 2, and it looks like it's over, but Andrews stops things, guys. Insanity. Andrews hits that big. Andrews comes in, shooting star press down onto the back of Gibson, and 1, 2, 3 new tag team champions, the hometown boys, Mark Andrews, Flash Morgan Webster. They leave as the new tag team champions, and it gets an insane pop, guys. Like I said, amazing work here from Andrews and Webster. These guys tore the house down with their double team work. Very Midnight Rockers-ish work from these guys. Mark Andrews was made a star in this one. Stellar performance from him, guys. I cannot put him over enough. Mark Andrews really was awesome here. The near falls were pretty fun to watch in this match too, guys. On this one, there was a little early awkwardness to this match, a little early on until Andrews and Webster kind of tied it together with their flying. So we're going to go 3 3/4 stars in the 3-way tag team matchup. I really enjoyed the false finishes. Pretty fun match. Next up, guys, it is Hoss fight time. That's right, it's a last man standing match. Dan Mastiff, Joe Coffey. It's the battle of the Hosses, as good old JR would like to say. Sassafras. Here we go, guys. These two big guys are going at it. I like to call Dan Mastiff little mini Vader. He kind of reminds me of Vader a little bit. I mean, that singlet, I guess. Things start off. Joe Coffey is out. I almost called him Kofi. Joe Coffey is out with a chain to start the match off. But Mastiff is channeling his inner Vader. He's not having any of it. And he charges right at Coffey, Joe Coffey, and the IOA. And it's a brawl to start things off, guys. And we are underway. And it doesn't take long for things to break down, if you will. This is a last man standing match. And right away, we are made aware of that as we get inside the ring. Mastiff Irish whips Joe Coffey into the corner. And the turnbuckle explodes! That's right, the turnbuckle breaks off. It was actually a really cool little spot that they set up and did there. I think Coffey could have sold it a little more, but he's up after only a few minutes. Beats the count, and we are right underway. Joe Coffey is bumping all over the place here, guys. He's taking release German suplexes on the floor and everything. And one thing I noticed about the ring mat out there on the floor, that's not like, you know, like the ring mat that's outside the ring in the WWE present day? It looks like it's like really shock absorbent, state-of-the-art technology, you know what I mean? This ring mat here in the UK, this looks like the thin little gym mats that WWE used to use in the late 90s. Those little black mats that look like the ones from your gym class. I mean, if you're taking a bump, like a released German suplex on the floor, I don't think that thing is going to help you a whole lot. Translation, I bet those bumps hurt that Coffey's taking. They brawl outside on the floor, and there's actually a couple of guys wearing Nasty Boys t-shirts in the front row. And immediately, why I'm bringing that up, because now I might agree that with Nigel McGuinness that maybe the people in Cardiff don't have any taste. I mean, Nasty Boys, come on! Sags and Knobs? What are you thinking? Outside, a pool cue is found on the outside of the ring. A pool cue! Say what? How did that get out there? And that's not the end of it. Then Joe Coffey finds a tote bag with a Gallus logo on it outside of the ring. That's convenient, right? Inside of that tote bag, that Gallus tote bag, I wonder if that's on WWE Shop. That Gallus tote bag's got pool cues in it, pool balls, kendo sticks, weapons galore, guys. Weird. It's just one of those wrestling tropes, I guess, that there's just randomly stuff under the ring. I guess it was kind of good storytelling, though, because it kind of tells you, oh, maybe Gallus kind of hid things under the ring there. No subtlety, though, with the big giant Gallus logo on the tote bag, but points for trying. And of course, they do the big brawling into the crowd spot, and there's kind of a cool little neat spot there where both guys end up getting up to their feet, and Mastiff hands Coffey a chair and just says, hey, come on, let's do this man to man. And the guys end up separating, separate ends, and they're at like, there's people on either side of them, so it's almost like they're in this corridor of humanity, and they just charge at each other, full speed with the chairs, and hit each other and bounce off. Kind of cool, a little bit contrived, but it was a kind of fun little spot. They end up brawling over to the announce table position, and Mastiff picks Coffey up and hits a rolling Samoan drop. Kind of that move that Finlay used to do in the ring all the time, Fit Finlay. Hits that rolling Samoan drop, and the table doesn't even give at all. And those are always brutal table bumps when the table doesn't give. So they end up, Coffey makes the count, they end up brawling up onto this big platform where they did the TakeOver pre-show from. And sure enough, both guys come tumbling down for the big bump. Boom! Down through two big tables. It gets the big holy crap spot. Big stuff, guys. And sure enough, both guys are up at the count of 9. And they're using these like production cases, these traveling cases that they put production equipment in. They got the wheels on them. They're big giant things. You see them in the backstage all the time in WWE in the locker room when they're backstage at Raw or whatever. Both Coffey and Dan Mastiff are using these travel boxes to pull themselves up, and then Coffey just kicks the Mastiff's case out from underneath him, kicks the one with the wheels out from underneath him as he's pulling himself up. Mastiff collapses. He cannot make the 10 count. And that's all she wrote, guys. Joe Coffey gets the win. A nice little heel move at the end, a little jerk move to rub it in. Basically, Mastiff slipping on the proverbial banana peel. Pretty fun brawl there, and I actually enjoyed the match. I like the spot at the beginning with the turnbuckle exploding. I think they could have sold it a little bit better. But it was kind of a cool little jump start to the match. Kind of like, hey, this match is going to be a little bit different. It might be a little bit wild. Pretty good match. Pretty good little fun brawl. I did enjoy it. Some good work by both guys. Joe Coffey bumped like a champ in this thing, guys. Taking released Germans on the floor and everything. So I think we're going to go ahead and we're going to go 3.5 stars out of 5. We're going to go 3.5 out of 5 on this one, guys, for the last man standing match between Dan Mastiff and Joe Coffey. Alright, it is NXT UK Women's title time, guys. Toni Storm defending the title against Kaylee Ray. These guys have a personal issue going into this one. Kaylee Ray's a little butthurt. Yeah, she's a little jelly of Toni Storm going into this, trying to get into her head a little bit. Right off the bat, let's hope that Kaylee Ray doesn't take that, get that dubstep theme song anywhere near Vince McMahon's ears. Let's hope she stays far away from the main roster, because she might just lose that little dubstep thing. Case in point, Buddy Murphy. They changed his song as soon as he came up. What happened to his dubstep cowboy theme, huh? Now he's got this, I mean, I like it, but he's got this generic little metal song. But Kaylee Ray, keep that dubstep away from Vince McMahon's ears. Another little note, I'm really insanely glad that Toni Storm doesn't wear that little Hot Topic mini top hat anymore. That thing just irritated me to no end, and I don't know why. It actually kind of prevented me from liking Toni Storm for a while. But the little mini hat is gone, guys. She's the NXT UK Women's Champ, and this match is getting underway. Kaylee Ray tries to stall to start things off. Toni ends up diving out on her, and here we go. We got a little bit of kick. It's really kicky punchy to start things off, actually, and which works because it kind of fits the story they're trying to tell. Things kind of get I don't know, there's this weird point in this match where I felt like they were doing some kicky punchy stuff, and then it's just like they completely forgot the middle portion of the match. They just completely skipped over it. I don't know if there was time issues. There's some timing issues with the show, whether they needed to cut part of their match to keep things going, but they're doing the kicky punchy stuff. And then randomly, they're just trading finishers in the middle of the match. I mean, Toni hits the Storm Zero in the center of the ring, and Kaylee kicks out. And it's like to crickets. The fans don't even buy it as a near fall because there was no build-up to it. It just kind of happened right out of nowhere. Really kind of strange. And then on top of that, we turn around and Kaylee Ray hits her big gory bomb. She hits the big gory special, the gory bomb, on Toni Storm, and that gets a near fall for 2. And the fans they barely bite on that near fall either. Barely believable because I don't think there was really any build up to it, so it didn't really mean anything. Toni Storm's got some great facial expressions when she sells, though. That's a big plus. Her facial expressions are pretty top notch. They did a lot to tell the story here. Kaylee Ray's beating her down a few times in the match, and the expression on Toni's face, like she doesn't want to fight her friend. She can't believe this is happening. I really like that little bit with Toni. I think as time goes on, the years go by, and she can refine her act a little bit, she's going to be a big star. I think Toni and Charlotte are going to have some good matches in the future. Sasha Banks and Toni Storm, I think, could tear it up. But Toni's got a few things to fine-tune. There's a spot later in the match where Kaylee Ray goes up to the top rope, and she dives onto Toni Storm on the floor, and she almost breaks her dang neck. She falls almost right on her head. Scary spot. Luckily, she's okay. She gets right back up. She gets Toni back into the ring and sets her up. Another gory special. Drops her stomach first on the top rope. And then hits her the third gory special of the match. She finally hits it. Covers her. 1, 2, 3. We got a new NXT UK Women's Champion. I don't know about the finish. It kind of came out of nowhere. Like I said, that middle portion of the match was completely got edited out or skipped over, and it was almost like they were told to go home. And they just, because it was weird, they looked a little lost at the beginning when they got out there. Like I said, it was kind of kicky-punchy to start. And then it was just, there was no middle portion of the match. It's like they went right into the third act of the match, or the finishing sequence, with trading the finisher spots and whatnot. I don't know if somebody got hurt, but kind of an odd finish too out of nowhere like that. Kaylee Ray's your new champion, which is fine. I don't have any problem with that. I kind of think they maybe are moving the belt over to Kaylee Ray. She's got more babyface challengers as a heel. You got more babyface challengers to chase her for the belt. And I think we might see something with Viper and Kaylee Ray, which I think would be really fun to watch. I think there's money in Viper as NXT UK Women's Champion. I think they have money in Viper just as it is. As a role model, as a star for women, I think she's going to be a big deal. So, yeah, no build up to the random finisher trading. Thus, it was to crickets to the crowd. Didn't play very well. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go 2.5 stars out of 5 stars on the NXT UK Women's title match. Kaylee Ray goes over Toni Storm to become the new champion. And all right, guys, this is what we all came here for. This is the main event, the big kahuna, all the marbles. Let's get ready to rumble. It's the NXT UK Championship matchup between Walter as he defends the title against Tyler Bate, that big strong boy. Tyler Bate, guys, I'm really looking forward to this matchup. Tyler Bate is sort of like he's kind of a prodigy, right? Like the equivalent of a child piano prodigy or whatnot, somebody that just picks something up. He's so young, and the guy can work his butt off, man. What a worker Tyler Bate is. What a babyface Tyler Bate is. And Walter, I said Dan Mastiff reminded me of Walter, or of Vader. Nah, Walter is the second coming of Vader. This big, athletic guy that works smaller than he is, but he can be a giant too. That's what Walter is. Maybe a little bit of Bam Bam Bigelow in there with him. Big fan of Walter. He's one of my favorites to watch, guys. So I'm really, really looking forward to this matchup. Walter, low-key, he's got one of the best entrances in wrestling right now. All the fans chanting along when he's got his arms behind his back. So simple, so awesome. yeah, really cool entrance from Walter. Really intimidating entrance. The crowd in this one, guys, they are firmly behind Tyler Bate, and they are lively. There is a big strong boy chant going on in this one, guys, and I love it. Much like the Cesaro match earlier, early on they're trying to use the size difference, the obvious size difference, to tell their story. But there's a catch here. Walter keeps striking down Tyler Bate, and everything that he's doing to Tyler Bate is firing right back at him, hitting him back with these stiff blows and everything. Walter cannot get any advantage going here. He's trying to out-wrestle Bate at the beginning, and Bate is hanging with him despite the size difference. Tyler Bate making up for it with intensity, pulling from the crowd to fire him up. This is what pro wrestling is made of, guys. And there's a really super cool spot early on when Tyler Bate, he really fires up, and I talked about old school babyface fire before. You guys got to see Tyler Bate fire up on Walter here with the UK crowd going absolutely nuts. Tyler Bate's offense is something to behold here as he fires up and clears Walter out of the ring. Heck of a reaction. They did a lot of this stuff in the match where Tyler Bate really had to work little things like Yokozuna used to do this a lot, where somebody would work on getting Yoko down, and they'd boom, hit one clothesline, they'd hit the ropes, they'd hit another clothesline, and Yoko would be going like he's gonna fall down, they'd hit the ropes, and then the third clothesline finally topples him, and the way he takes the bump, he milks the pop from the crowd, milks the bump before finally going down, making everything mean something. Guys, that's what Walter did here, guys, with Tyler Bate on some of this stuff. And what it did is it made everything mean something. Okay? Every time Walter wouldn't go up for something, and it took Tyler Bate a few times to try to suplex him or whatever, and he finally got him, it meant so much when he finally did suplex him. And you could kind of believe for that minute, hey, maybe Tyler Bate has got this thing in the bag. He can slam Walter. Nobody else has done that yet. Great booking. Great job whoever the agent was putting the match together. Great execution by Walter and Tyler Bate. I love that little stuff in the match. Early on, again, they go out to the floor, and Walter just murders Tyler Bate. They do a spot where he picks him up and power bombs him like against the ring post, and Bate just slides right down the ring post to the floor. It's an awkward bump, such an awkward bump, and it looked like it might have legitimately jacked Tyler Bate up a little bit. Scary bump. It's an impressive spot, but I kind of don't like watching that type of thing. But there's the turn of the match. Tyler Bate's going to sell his back the entire match. This isn't John Cena selling something, guys. Tyler Bate sells the back the whole match, and right up until the end of the match, even after it's over, he doesn't forget about that back going into the ring post, and he sells it. Watch this match, young wrestlers. If you want to learn the importance of selling and how great you can make selling, how much it adds to a match, watch what Tyler Bate does in this match with his selling. The storytelling is great here as Walter just keeps brutalizing Tyler Bate, beating him down, and Tyler Bate just keeps coming and firing back. He's using that British strong style spirit, that fighting spirit to fight back, and the crowd loves it. They're going nuts in this thing. Later on, they go out onto the apron, and there's a really sick spot where Tyler Bate grabs Walter and actually hits an exploder off of the ring apron onto the concrete floor. Heck of a spot, guys. I love that spot. Really cool stuff. Impressive bump by Walter there, too. There's even a spot later on, Walter trying to get Tyler Bate to tap out, and he locks him in a lion tamer. That's right, not a Walls of Jericho, a lion tamer on this of all days when AEW's holding All Out. Speaking of AEW All Out, stay tuned to JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown, because we're going to be breaking down AEW All Out tomorrow, right here on JtoZ TV, so look for that one. They do another really awesome near fall spot when they're on the top ropes later on, and Tyler Bate grabs Walter's hand and boom, he breaks the fingers. He does Pete Dunne's finger break. Really cool little callback to his relationship with Pete Dunne and to Walter's history with Pete Dunne. That then leads to a top rope exploder. Walter's out of there at 2.99999, guys. So close. super hot near fall that the fans bid on hook, line, and sinker. And then that's not it, guys. Tyler Bate's going to lift Walter up a few minutes later. And what's he going to hit him with? A burning hammer! That's right, a burning hammer. Insanity, guys. And Walter's going to kick out of that one, too. It's near Fall City here tonight. And, I mean, Nigel McGuinness is losing his mind at this point. So then Tyler Bate goes up to the top rope, corkscrew moonsault. 1, 2, no. 2.99999 again. Walter kicks out, and the crowd is rabid by this point. So Tyler Bate turns into a house of fire. He's beating down Walter, everything he can do. And Walter's had absolutely enough. Walter just is like, I'm done with this. He's beating down Bate with some stiff shots. Mafia kicks him. Yakuza kicks him as hard as he can. Stiff shot. Potatoes him down. Puts him in a rear naked choke. You think that's it? Tyler Bate will not die. He will not quit. He powers himself up. Walter on his back. Boom! Slams him down, you guys. And it looks like Tyler Bate-mania is running wild. Mustache-mania is taking over the world. Tyler Bate he's UKing up, guys. He's Britishing up. He's getting ready. He's hulking up. He's ready to make the comeback. And Walter just snuffs him out with the stiffest of stiff lariats. 1, 2, 3. That is all she wrote for Tyler Bate. That's all she wrote for a heck of a match. One of the stiffest, most fun matches I've seen all year long so far, guys. This thing was absolutely incredible. Walter and Tyler Bate, they had the crowd in the palm of their hands. Walter, you guys, Walter is a machine. Walter is a beast. Walter is one of my favorite pro wrestlers right now. And not only that, but Tyler Bate is a star. I hope someday Tyler Bate is main eventing WrestleMania because the guy has it. Incredible stuff from these two guys. The crowd ate it hook, line, and sinker. There was some insanity going down. I don't even think I got to it, but there's actually a spot, too, where Walter hit Tyler Bate with a Cobra Clutch release German suplex on the ring apron and dang near killed him. That was like a Kota Ibushi bump that he took on his head out there on the apron. If your name's not Kota, I don't know how you survive bumps like that, but Tyler Bates, I think he's still alive. He was in one piece, but what a match this is, guys. I was pretty blown away. I was up off the couch a few times during that match. I think I'm going to go. It's hard to not call it a 5. There's a couple things. I think maybe if I rewatch it again, it might get there. But right here, we're going to call it 4 3/4 star. Nearly a perfect show, or nearly a perfect main event. These two guys tore the house down, guys. Check out this match. If you're only watching one match today, go check this one out. Great stuff, guys. Phenomenal stuff. And then after the match, Tyler Bate gets the babyface treatment, standing ovation. And out comes British Strong Style. You got Trent Seven, you got Pete Dunne for the embrace. They help him do his feet. Standing ovation. Fade to black, guys. So, what's the final word? What is the bottom line on NXT UK Takeover Cardiff? I'm going to have to go thumbs up on this show, guys. I mean, you had a nearly 5-star main event. You had another match going 4 stars on the show, so with Cesaro and Dragunov. That triple threat tag match was dang near broke the 4-star mark with some insane near falls. This was a really solid wrestling show, especially for Saturday afternoon. I mean, where else you going to catch this quality of wrestling in a Saturday afternoon? In the middle of the afternoon, basically, in the middle of the morning. Really enjoyed this show, guys. Looking forward to the next NXT UK Takeover. What I liked about this show is there's a lot of stars to watch coming out of this show. I felt like there were a lot of guys that really upped their stock coming out of UK Takeover Cardiff. First off, Dragunov. Man, this guy is going to be a massive star for WWE someday. Ilia Dragunov, insane star. Cesaro really put him over, and Cesaro made himself look like $1 million as well. But Dragunov really coming out, looking like a winner out of this one. Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster looked like $1 million in their match, but Mark Andrews especially, every time he was in that ring, his timing, his charisma, the guy is gold, and I was really, really blown away by his performance. And then you had Tyler Bate. I think Tyler Bate stole the show. Walter got an amazing match out of him, but Tyler Bates' babyface fire in his performance here really impressed me, guys. Big thumbs up for NXT UK Takeover Cardiff. And you know what? We're hoping you'll give JtoZ TV a big thumbs up. We are hoping that you guys like this new feature here on JtoZ TV on the channel. It's the JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button right now. We would love for you guys to stay around to keep up with what we're doing here on JtoZ TV. We got all kinds of new content coming out almost daily here on JtoZ TV. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss a single one of our videos. We've got another JtoZ TV Pro Wrestling Breakdown coming at you guys tomorrow. We are going to be breaking down AEW All Out. I am so excited for that show, guys. A level of excitement that's just basically unparalleled. I can't remember a time I've been this excited for a wrestling show. Maybe All Out or All In last summer. Maybe Double or Nothing earlier this year. But I am super excited for that one. So stay tuned for that. JtoZ TV, the Pro Wrestling Breakdown tomorrow with AEW All Out. Until next time, guys, we'll catch you down that long aisle with all the fans cheering. We'll catch you between the ropes next time, guys. Thanks for watching.